Good afternoon, class, and welcome to your statistics orientation. My name is Dr. Araypour, and I'm very happy to have you here with me. I have sent you several emails already regarding the course, and if in case somebody has started the course, and many have already, more power to you, but either way, it doesn't matter. We're going to quickly go over the orientation. And basically, here's your Canvas page. This is the home page of the Canvas, and I have put the numbers so you can simply follow the numbers, number 1, 2, 3, 4, and so forth. So number 1, I have a welcome message here that basically it's welcoming you to the course. I'm very happy to have you here, and it's just a minute or two long, short video. The second one, philosophy. What is the class philosophy? In short, this class is a community, and therefore we all have the same objective, which is to learn, and everybody's here to help one another, and I'm hoping that we just follow the netiquette for online, what they call, and so we just respect one another, so with the utmost respect. The course objective is also here, and it is about the use of probability techniques, hypothesis testing, and so forth. And as far as the contact is concerned, you have my email address. You can email me right here. You can find the email, or just if you go to Canvas, either way is fine. Going back to the home page, the next one is the announcements. Now, let me put this in student view under the announcements. And by the way, you can click on this, or on the left navigation bar, you see the announcement. Either way makes no difference. It takes you there. There have been several emails/announcements, because what happens is that I send the announcement to the students, I email it to them, and it is available here in case you missed that. There has been a recorded orientation, welcome and orientation, exemption to orientation letter. That basically was telling everybody, if you get started with the course, explore the course and start with MOM. My Open Math is the digital homework, also known as MOM. You didn't have to be here. And then I had several emails sent to you known as welcome to your virtual course. So it's been a couple of weeks that I've been in contact with you. Going back to the home page, the next one is number 4. So let me quickly read what comes up. Number 4 contains the following: the syllabus, modules. Under the modules, you print the practice test, you watch the PowerPoints, you solve the practice test, you do the homework under the modules, which is in my Open Math, and I'm going to refer to it as MOM from now on, short, my Open Math, MOM. Practice test and solutions, then we have a discussion forum. Also, we have the sample test and solutions link on the left side. This is just in case the access to Canvas is not available. I'll show you when we get there quickly. Then the exams also can be found under the modules. And then the office hours, basically I've set them up on Saturdays from 9 to 10. If you have any questions, you're more than welcome to show up. So let's quickly go over the syllabus. You can again click on here or on the left navigation bar. It's up to you. So what do we find under the syllabus? First and foremost, the Excel calendar will tell us that basically every few weeks we have an exam. For example, the first exam is February 25th, and that's all you want to be concerned with, because by the time we finish the first exam, you know exactly what to do from there on, okay? And then every few weeks we have an exam and the final. So that's as far as the Excel calendar is concerned. The next one is the actual syllabus. And since syllabi are getting larger and larger, I put them in topic format. So in case you don't want to go through the whole thing, you can click on a topic of interest. What I'm going to do, I'm going to quickly go over all of them. It won't take long. Please If you have any questions regarding the syllabus, come back here and consult it if need be. So obviously, the course, the number, the time, student learning outcome, course objective, the text. And I'll show you the text. You can find it from here or from my Open Math. It's a free digital ebook. It's online. It's by OpenStax. The online assignment is done by MOM, by Open Math. Everything is free, everybody. You don't have to pay a penny for anything. Class calendar. So you're already here, so you don't have to worry about the, orientation. We had this in essence in Excel. We also have it here. The exam times are extremely important. So every few weeks we have an exam. And also the week of the exam, you're more than welcome to, stop by. I can go over the exam review, or you can watch the recording that is available. I will mention that to you again. So attending the review session is highly recommended, but everything is recorded. You can just watch the recording. Important dates, meetings, everything is online. Calculators and formulations. We can use a graphing calculator. Any graphing calculator that you like is fine. TI-83, 84 are recommended. By the way, I do have a number of online calculators. All of them are for free. I highly recommend you try them and see which one you get comfortable with, so you don't have to pay a penny for anything, including your calculators. Of course, you can use a formula sheet and table for the exam also. Tech support for the publisher, for the campus, and PyShop or MATLAB. This is the Math Tutoring Center. And this is probably the most important part for the students, the grading policy. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 exams. Each one is worth 100 points. We have online homework, 200 points. And this one, class, there is really no time limit, in a sense that you start the exam, you start the homework, you can go back and forth until you finish it. As long as it's done before the due date, you get the 4 credit for it. Most students get a high percentage of that, at least 90-95%. The final test is comprehensive and it's 300 points, total of 1,000 points. Now, one thing about the final test, all you have to do, study the previous exams and the brand new module. That's all. And you'll do fine. And 90% or 900 points and above is A, 80% or 800 points or more is B, so on and so forth. There's no makeup policy. If, for the exam, if something comes up, you let me know ahead of time. I try to do, my best to give you a break on that. As far as other breaks is concerned, is that the final score is a grade of B, that means 80% or better. I will replace your worst exam grade among the first 4 with the final, as long as this is the case. And your homework is high, 90% or higher. And more importantly, when I do this, this will result in a better letter grade. So if, for example, if you have a C, you end up with a B, otherwise it defeats the purpose. Course-late work, generally speaking, if you have to use it, you get behind, it's very hard to catch up. I don't recommend that if something comes up. Some of the online homework assignments, you can do it that way. Okay, you can do them late for a 10% penalty, but there is no late pass for anything else, especially the exams. Now, this is extremely important. CSUL, we studied 36, and I want to make a note of this for you. You're more than welcome to look this up. What it says that for every unit, we need 3 hours to study outside, which means if we meet for 4, it's a 4-unit course, we meet 4 hours per week, we need to study 12 hours per week. And this is the minimum amount. So 4 and 12 in essence makes it 16 hours. If you want to do an A1 job, that's just the nature of studying. Dropping policy. Anybody who doesn't show up to this orientation, which hasn't started the course already, if you miss the orientation, excuse me, do not register with the publisher immediately. Miss the first assignment, or any of the exams. In essence, students will be dropped as a no-show. Information about OSS and financial aid is here. Summary steps to success. Study the PowerPoints, do your homework. And as far as the homework is concerned, we have some video lectures that are embedded within the homework. And study the practice test and their solution, post a question in the discussion forum, send your question if you have it via Canvas inbox or Canvas email. If need be, attend the review session or just watch the recording and take the exam in a timely fashion. We have the office hours from 9 to 10 on the day that we have the exam. I'll stay there a little bit longer, maybe until 11 o'clock. And so the next thing is the netiquette for online learning. It's a bunch of them, class. It's a bunch of them. But in short, what I want to explain is that we're all here to learn, and let's just respect one another. That's all there is to it. So the following etiquette guidelines, behavior associated with socializing online, or suggestions for success in your online learning environment. And in short, again, absolutely respectful of your fellow students. And also the syllabus addendum will tell us about the number of units, the prereqs, and so on and so forth. So this is the synopsis of the syllabus, everybody. Again, as always, you can go back and learn more about it. The next one is a module. So if I click on module here or on the left navigation bar, modules, what do I find? First, let me tell you what you find there, and then we take it from there. First and foremost, you find your MOM information. So if you click on that, it says you have to go to this website and you have to use this course ID and this enrollment. All right. So that's the first thing. And this is where you do your homework. It is the very first one. So, and I'm going to come back to this and give you the synopsis of how it looks like and what you do. The next one is statistics PowerPoint lectures, section by section. You can find it here or right here under recorded practice test. I'll show you both. If you click on this, it gives you the practice test recording and the PowerPoints, also the same as the recorded practice tests here. And I want to explain that after I'll show you the module. All right, first understand we have module 1, exam 1 module. Similar to that, exam 2, exam 3, exam 4 module, even module 5. So as long as we cover one module, you'll be very comfortable with the rest of it. However, what comes after that, when all of them are done, we have formulas, TI calculators, tables. I want to explain this last module after module 5, everybody. This is something students miss. So I want to quickly cover that first. Here's the formulas. Now, you have the formulas in the form of a table, okay, or you can find them right here. I have all the formulas that you need, and you're more than welcome to use this while you're taking the exam. What else do we find there? The next one is the tables. You can use the tables also during the exam, or you can use a calculator. For example, how do I find the z-score, the t-score, so on and so forth. So we have the table. Again, you're under the module. We're going to go all the way to the end. And what is the last one? So we have the formulas. We have the tables. Here's the last one, which is interesting, everybody. I have set up information about your TI calculator. If you want to use a TI calculator, the commands are there. Also, if you want an emulator, there is a YouTube video that may be able to help you to get that. Let me explain what that means. If it works, and not always it does, you can get this calculator online class, okay? And I hope it works, because this is something that has got to do with sometimes the IT department, and I myself have a hard time sometimes making it work. But it's not just that, there are other calculators that I will show you, but this one specifically shows how to, in essence, download and use TI, and again, it may not work. And here's the commands for that, many commands. Now, going back here, now this is, for example, using the T distribution, there is another calculator here, Z-score calculator, T-score calculator, so on and so forth. Chi-square. If you look at this one, this is a chi-square calculator. So these are calculators other than TI that, take a look at this one. This is called stat calculator from Stat Trick, if you will. Just many cases. Another calculator, social science statistics. Please try all of them and see which one works the best for you. What is my point? My point is, I don't believe that my students should pay a penny for anything, including calculators. So believe me, there are many calculators online, and I don't know which one is going to work the best for you. Now I'm going to go back up. As I mentioned at the very top, we have my open math. We're going to discuss that later on. Let's look at the exam one module. What do we find there? First, we find the practice test. And why do I put that in the beginning? Because I want you can either download it or just print it. I want you to read this for about 5 to 10 minutes to see what's coming your way for the first exam, which is covering the first 3 chapters. So this is the synopsis of what we need to learn to be able to nail the first exam. So this is the synopsis of everything you learn for module 1. Going back to module, we're looking at exam 1 module. So the first one was the practice test. Then I have different chapters. We're going to cover chapter 1, 2, 3. What are those? Let me click on chapter 1. And these are my PowerPoints. If you click on it, the best course of action is to put this in slide mode. Why? Because as you go down, for example, when you come across an example, okay, the way it is here, you see the whole example. But if you put it in slide mode, step by step, it will solve it for you and show you the proper steps. So I highly recommend you do that. If you go back, then you can go to the next section and the next section, so on and so forth. So this was chapter 1. Same thing with chapter 2, same thing with chapter 3. What do we find at the end of this exam 1 module? Remember, in the beginning, what did we have? We had a PT, short for practice test, or exam review. They all mean the same thing. And this one is the solution to that practice test, which is written step by step. Everything is done step by step, class. Okay? Step by step. Now, going back to it, I want to make sure we understand. So we have the practice test. We have the PowerPoints that help us understand the practice test. So remember, we have either downloaded the practice test or printed it. And all you have to do every day, just do 1 or 2 questions. 1 question, 2 questions. By the time you get to the week of the exam, you're done. And the week of the exam, you consult with the solution, make sure it's correct. Now, not only I have the practice test, not only I have the solution to practice test, on the left side or right at top here where it says PowerPoint lecture section by section, or on the left side where it says recorded practice test, I also have the practice test in my YouTube channel. So we also have the practice test here, everybody. We have the lectures, those PowerPoints that you saw, section 1.1, 1.2, so on and so forth. We have those as well as the practice test. Now, at the very top, it says new statistics recorded practices. This is the latest recorded practice test. I highly recommend you watch that one. That is probably in a better order than the rest of them when it comes to practice test or exam review. Module 1 practice test chapter 1, module 1 practice test chapter 2, all the way to the end. So where do we find it? Right here, the left navigation bar where it says recorded practice test. So let me go back to the home page. You can click on this recorded practice test and the first one, which says the new statistics recorded practice test. So under the modules, we can find everything that we need here. Practice test, PowerPoints, solution to it. And now, right here, we have the PowerPoints, or right here, the recorded practice test. And I'm going to leave this again for the last one. Let me go back to the home page. So what is happening here? So after the modules, and I'm going to get to the homework, as I mentioned, and practice test solution, I want to quickly click on the discussion forum right here or on the left navigation bar again. So when you click on it, what do you find? Number one, you find a student's bio. And what I've done, I wrote mine, okay, class, just as a sample. Please go ahead and write yours so your fellow students get to know you. Go back to the discussion forum. What is the next one? Frequently asked questions. Before you ask any question, please read this. In the past, students had questions. I have answered them here. For example, how do I use the math editor when I want to write a discussion for it? Course ID. Okay, you can find it. Access the expired homework, all of the above. One of the common questions that comes up, and it's very surprising to me, where to find the exam passport. Announcements with the exam title are emailed to students and have all the information, including the exam passport. So it will be sent to you by the week in advance. Make sure you read my emails, all of them from A to Z. They are also under the announcements when the time comes. So going back to the discussion, those two, are for your information. Now, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 discussion forums that are graded. Each one is worth 20 points. So for example, the first one, what do we do? This is for module 1. You are required to post at least one question and its solution, either from practice test number 1 posted under the modules or any source of your choice per grading policy. So you basically pick a question and you answer it. Now, it has to be a worthy question, and you have to answer, you write the question from A to Z, you write the solution from A to Z. And it says, read all the post questions and solutions posted by others first, and pick a different question to post. No duplication is allowed. A question with one word solution, one line solution, or definition is not acceptable. And results in what? Results in 0 points for the post. If this is done properly, what do you get? 10 points, everybody. You receive 10 points right here. So you write the question. number and copy down the question. If you pick it up from the practice test, and that's fine. Show all steps using the math equation editor or embed an image solution as explained below. I'll explain it here how to do that. Okay, over here, how to embed an image. Number 2, show all the steps using math. Now, the second one, find a similar problem online or on YouTube or on Khan Academy and post the link. That gives you 5 points. So you did one question, you pick a similar question from somewhere, like Khan Academy or YouTube, and put it there. Finally, comment. Explain at least one classmate question. This is either solved or is found online and posted by watching it carefully in its entirety. So you have to comment on somebody's work, but your comment is about what they did. Explain about what the question addressed and what you learned from it, and outline a few steps you learned as a result. A compliment is nice, but doesn't give you any points. I want to know what you learned. In other words, when I read your comment, I can sort of tell what the other student did. You follow what I'm saying? With the proper steps. And I've put an example. Okay, I'm claiming this is question 15. I'm making things up, okay? Find the mean, median, mode, so on and so forth. For this one, I'm using math editor. I'm using formulas, and I'm explaining all the steps. And the next one, and the next one, and everything is done properly. Then there is a similar question on YouTube. I have the YouTube link here. And then I'm going to comment on a question by someone. Supposedly, this post was about the z-score, and I'll tell you what I learned. It's not just, complimenting the student. It's about what they did. Complimenting is nice, but, more importantly, you want to write what it meant. And of course, I have here a couple of things. How to embed an image. Let's say you want to write it on a piece of paper and upload it. It can't be a PDF file. Students must see your work, So if it's a PDF file, I will not accept it. To use the math editor, also, if you want to use the math editor, just the way I did it here, how do you do that? Basically, reply, insert, and click on the symbol with the square. So look at this. This is the equation editor, and now you start using the math editor. So I hope everybody is comfortable with that. So going back to the discussion forum, this was the first discussion that will give you a total of 20 points. There are 5 of them. 5 times 20, you receive 100 points from the discussion forum. All right, so what comes next? I explained this one. I'm going to quickly show you. It says optional, the sample test solution. Basically, if something goes wrong and you don't have access to Canvas, you want to make a note of this. This gives you the same PowerPoints, practice test, things like that. For example, prepare for test one. This is about module 1. It gives you the PowerPoints practice test solution to it. Everything that you can find there. Again, do you need that? No. So what is this good for? If for some reason you don't have access to Canvas, you can go to this link to find just about everything. So what comes next? The next one is the exam and then the office hours. So it's time to find where we do the homework and everything else. And remember, under the modules, you have gone here, used the course ID, the enrollment key, and you have registered with MOL. So what do? Let me give the student MOL. So it will take you to this, assuming you have registered. The very first thing before you get started, you see mandatory assignment, introduction to MyOpenMath. So what is that? Well, basically, I want to make sure you learn how to input the information. And that's exactly how you do your homework. So let me quickly cover that one that comes first. So you go there. And this introduction basically want to help you learn how to deal with mob, okay? So for example, the first one says enter this number. Notice the moment I click on this space, it gives me a math editor, okay? So for example, if I want to use a fraction, I can. So over here, I'm just putting the number just the way it is, 88.4269. So I put that in. The next one says rounded to the nearest hundreds. Hundreds, you see 42. The second decimal is 2. So I'm going to write 88.4. Either it remains as 2 or goes up. The reason it goes up to 3 because next to 2, we have number 6. So if it's 5 or larger, it goes up. Now, it says divide by 0. As you know, we can't divide by 0. It's undefined. I'm looking for undefined. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have it. So I'm going to use DNE. Does not exist. So what happens next? I can just submit the question. Notice what happened. It's check marks, everything I've done is right. I can go to the next one, and the next one, and the next one. But before I do the next one, something comes up, and I can't go to the next one. I have to go do something else. I'm going to click done. And I want you to know immediately that this has been, put into the gradebook that has been done, and the rest of them are unattempted. So I just received the point for what I did. Then when you go back, it says you want to resume. All you have to do, resume or exit. So if I resume, the first question is fine. I'm going to continue with the second question. That's what I mean. When you want to do the homework, if I click on resume, so the first question is fine. I can go to the next one and the next one and the next one. This way, basically, you can come back and take your time and finish the job as long as it's done before the due date. I'm going to exit. What comes next is the exams. Again, I put it at pretty much at the top because I didn't want anybody to miss that. You don't have to worry about it right now. But for now, if you open it up, you see different exams. And for example, the first one has the due date here, the number of questions, and so on and so forth. I'm going to close it up for now. Then we have a course description. Obviously, we are dealing with statistics. And then if you go down, here's what I want you to notice. Here's your calendar. The very first assignment, which was this introduction to MOM, happens very fast. So I'd like you to do it ASAP. Now, notice it says HW, which stands for homework. All of this homework are due the day before the first exam. What does it mean? I should wait until that day to do the homework? Absolutely not. If I do that, I will be behind. All you have to do one section per day. That's all you have to do. Therefore, when you get to the week of the exam, you have plenty of time to work on your practice test, master it, and ace your exam. So all of this and that it's not a lot. Just make sure you do them on a daily basis. Then we have module 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and modules 1 through 5 are the same, modules that we see in Canvas. Of course, we have the homework here. But what is module 0? It says resources. Okay. For example, here's the textbook that we use, and this one has the proper order, everybody. However, it's based on this one. I highly recommend you look at both of them. The difference is this one you can view it online. It's the same text. It's the same text, everybody. Okay, update. It's the same text. This one has the proper order, just the way we have it with the modules and my PowerPoints and everything else. This one has a slightly different order, but this is probably easier to use and navigate online. Chapter 2, we'll close it up. Chapter 8, close it up, so on and so forth. Okay, for example, chapter 9, and then go to 9.1. So it's a lot easier to navigate it here, but this has the proper order. In any event, so the first thing is that it gives you the text, and it says based on. Then how to use a late pass, calendar, how to check your gradebook. Make sure you go over that, because if something comes up, you want to go and check your exam that you've already taken. You go to the gradebook and click on the grade. You can review that. Instructor resources, free online calculators. Over here, there are many calculators. If I were you, I would check all of them until I find the one that works for me. Okay, because we all have different tastes. So this is statistics calculator. It does the job for you. It may be the best choice. I don't know. You decide. This one is a Star Trek calculator. This is also a statistics calculator. I highly recommend you use all of them. Poisson distribution. Here's a graphing calculator. Here's a scientific calculator. So we have all kinds of calculators online. In short, you don't have to pay a penny for anything as far as I'm concerned. Continue. We have the p-value calculators. What are the p-values? We'll find out in later chapters when we discuss the test of hypothesis. More online calculators, Desmas, and the videos. As I mentioned, online stat calculator, daily schedule calculator. There are many resources here, class. So please take a few minutes of your time to explore module 0 of MOM. If you have your own calculator, you don't need it, you don't want to, do anything about it, at least check, see what is available. And again, all of these modules, the same concept as Canvas. So I'm going to look at one of them, for example, module 1. And you see it covers the 3 chapters. So I'm going to open the first one again. And then we have 1.1, again, the same section. So if you click the first section, what do you find there? In order for you to get ready to do the online homework, one thing you can do, you can just go straight to the very first section and watch these video lectures that are in red. Some students find them enough. It's your choice. Either do that or watch the PowerPoints and my recordings and everything else. So, here's an example.
First lesson in chapter 1 in the elementary.
Okay, so you can watch those. This is instructors' video lectures. You can find my video lectures here. And then other recommended video lectures. If you watch the red ones and those are good enough for you, more power. Then what do? It's almost there. All you have to do, go to the homework. When you do the homework, class, it's just like what I showed you. You answer, you submit the question. If it's wrong, let's make something up. Let me see. Okay. So this is wrong. Just put something in. It says get a similar question. So you can get a similar question and you can do it again. Now, what is interesting here, some of these questions also have the videos. Take a look. Video 1, 2, video here. This one doesn't have a video. So the point being, even some of the homeworks have the videos, and just as before, you can come back and do them. And on a normal basis, the homework set is not huge. It's pretty simple. It's not a lot of questions. So you can do them in no time. So what I want to do, I want to recap everything quickly. So first, I want to go back to Canvas. So here's the home page of Canvas. All you have to do, read and follow. Number 1 is a welcome message. Number 2 is a class philosophy. Number 3 is about the announcements. And under number 4, you can find the syllabus. modules, homework, discussion forum, exams, office hours. On the left side, the main thing of interest to you would be what you find under the syllabus in case you want to go back to read what we just discussed, or the modules. What do you find under the modules? First and foremost, the information about MOM, my open math for you to register. Information about MOM to register. That means you need a course ID. You go to this website, course ID, and the enrollment key. What else you find there? You find the lecture PowerPoints, just as you find it here, recorded practice test and the lecture PowerPoints. At the end, the very last one gives you the formulas, tables, and information about various calculators, including TI. What do you find under exam one module? You find the practice test, you find the PowerPoints, and you find the solution to the practice test. This is the synopsis of the Canvas. And again, as always, this is at the bottom of the homepage, you find the student office hours. MOM, when you enter MOM, first and foremost, you do this introductory assignment so you be comfortable as to how to deal with that. The next one is exams. We don't worry about it until a few weeks. And basically, when the time comes, you click on the exam, you start the exam, it will ask you for a password. Course description. Calendar tells you most of homework is due before exam one. Please do your homework every day, one section at a time. Module 0 basically are the resources such as your text, gradebook, calendar, online calculators, you name it. And you start with module 1. Never mind any other module. By the time you finish the first module, you know exactly what to do with the rest of the course. Starts with chapter 1, section 1.1. Again, I would go with 1.1. Watch all of these red ones, the videos in red. And if that's good enough for you, just go to the homework. And if you do well in the homework, that means those red videos are good enough for you. I believe you can do that. You shouldn't worry about that. I believe it's really not that difficult. And I'm sure you can do a good job. I wish you all best of luck and happy studying, everybody.